Hello, 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 everyone. I'm gonna get my camera right. There we go. Awesome. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, everyone. I'm so excited for Business Tip Tuesday. So the first thing as you're coming on, make sure you tag your business. If you're watching this from Facebook, tag your business. If you're watching from Facebook, if you're watching from Instagram, make sure you tag your business as well in the comments. And if you're watching from YouTube, because I'm on YouTube, I'm on Instagram. When Women Empower is on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. So if you're watching this from YouTube, make sure you comment below the type of business you have or you're wanting to start. All right. And also, if you watch from YouTube, make sure you subscribe. So I'm streaming from all 3 platforms, y'all. So I had to say that. But I know this is Facebook Live. So as we get into this, make sure you do that. Comment. Also share this with someone. Share on your page. Share with someone if you think it will help them. So what we're going to talk about. So the first thing we're going to talk about is, and let me just do a quick introduction because I know people watching on Facebook already know who I am. But if you're watching on YouTube and Instagram, then you probably don't. Or maybe you know who I am, but I'm Trina Boyd. I'm the founder of Women Empower. Women Empower is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. And what we do, we help women who are in business. So we help women start businesses, start nonprofits. We help them with scaling. We help them with growth in their business. Our goal is to help a woman business owner reach 6 and 7 figures in their business. So that's our goal, or nonprofit. So let's get into the video, y'all. All right. So, so one of the questions I just want to ask, though, I want to ask you, and I want you to comment below if you know the answer to this question. So, do you or would you profit in your nonprofit? So I want you to answer yes or no in the comments if you think that you profit in your nonprofit or if you don't profit in your nonprofit. All right, so I want you to comment yes or no. And I am actually going to, I'm going to answer that question. I want to answer that question for you all in just a moment. Today's topic is nonprofit versus for-profit. Okay, so it's called nonprofit versus nonprofit. Nonprofit versus for-profit. Nonprofit versus for-profit. So I have a nonprofit. I'm the founder of Women Empower, which is a nonprofit. I'm going to get into everything as pertains to the financial part of it. And then I have for-profit businesses, which is Babysitters of Charlotte and Chin Consulting. So I have my nonprofit, I have my for-profit. So let's get into the difference. So I'm going to answer that question. I know everybody's commenting below. Do you profit as a nonprofit? So the answer to that question is, okay, so your intention when you are starting a nonprofit, you start a nonprofit with the intentions of helping someone. So you don't go into that, profit or go into that, you don't go into, sorry about that, y'all. You don't go into that nonprofit with the intentions of making a profit. So, but I do want to say that you as the founder or executive director will receive a salary. So I'm going to repeat that. If you are the founder of a nonprofit, you are not just a volunteer. You do receive a salary, okay? So you do receive a salary. So write that down. You will receive a salary as a nonprofit. Also, I do want to point out, though, as you're receiving the salary, it does require funding efforts for you to receive a salary, but the intention is not for you to just receive a salary. The intention is for you to be able to fulfill your purpose of what God has called you to do, in addition to receiving that salary. Because if you think about it like this, think about it, if you had to hire someone to do what you are doing in your nonprofit, they will receive a salary. So they're not just going to work for free. A lot of times starting a nonprofit, as a new nonprofit, you will have a lot of volunteers because you're going to need it. You're going to definitely need it. You're going to need volunteers in your nonprofit. So, but even though you have those volunteers, in place, you have a board of directors who are probably putting in a lot of work, not starting, but like later on down the line, they're going to be putting in work as it relates to getting grants. And once you have your programs in place, and you eventually will have to pay them a salary, but you as the founder of your nonprofit, or you hold a position as a president or the executive director. So each as the founder or an executive director, because the executive director does a lot of work. I'm just going to tell you that they do a lot of work. So with that being said, you receive a salary. So keep that. Also, I do want to point out, I encourage you to actually become a 501c3, because as we're talking about funding, right? We're talking about funding and you being able to receive a salary as a nonprofit. You're going to have to get funding. I mean, you can also do crowdfunding, but I'm talking about grants. We're talking about grants for this month of June. We're talking about getting grants, where the grants at, but the way you structure that, as you're doing your grants and such, you have a portion of that grant is designated towards a salary. A portion of that grant is designated towards your salary for running your program. So even though you don't have the intention to profit in your nonprofit, you still receive a salary. And that's how you structure that. And how do you determine what your salary is? You have a board of directors. So if you're starting your nonprofit, you're watching this video, think about who your board can be. You have to have a president, you have to have a vice president, you have to have a secretary, you have to have a treasurer and executive director. So think about who your board is going to be. This is one of the things that you're going to need when you're processing your paperwork for the 501c3. So if you don't know, I have a course on this 501c3 course that shows you step by step, module by module, line by line on how to get your 501c3. So make sure you grab that course, because anytime you are a nonprofit, it's essential to having that 501c3 letter so you can receive funding. Last week, if you're watching this video, watch my previous video how I showed you a grant. I showed you a grant. This particular grant, it was a federal grant, required you to have a 501c3. So just make sure you have your 501c3, get that out the way. But back to the subject in hand is, do you profit as a nonprofit? And the answer is you don't profit, but you still receive funding. So your intentions is to basically not profit, but you still receive a salary, if that makes sense. So you don't profit, but you still receive funding. So to the IRS, they're looking at it as if, okay, you're receiving funding, but you're tax exempt because you're doing a good deed. You're doing a good deed of feeding the homeless. You're doing a good deed of helping youth girls. You're doing a good deed by helping, single moms. You're doing a good deed by helping, me helping women in business. This is what God has called me to do. So you're doing this good deed, and your intention is not to go into just profit. A lot of times when you are on a board, though, I can say that your salary will be capped. I know someone who's a board CEO or founder of foundation, his salary is at $500,000, which is capped. And you're probably thinking, okay, this is $500,000, right? But you know, any more could raise suspicion, you know, with the IRS. So $500,000 is a lot of money, but sometimes we have bigger dreams. And this, if you have bigger dreams, you want to go into doing a for-profit. If you don't want your income maxed out at, you know, $500,000 or whatever, $100,000, $200,000. Some people are okay with that. Some people are okay with the $100,000 income for as a founder. Some people are okay with $200,000 as their salary for something that God has called them to do. But if you want to do something bigger, like as far as financial, like if you want more money, you have to be in a business, which is a for-profit business. So your for-profit business, you basically determine pretty much everything. You determine for your for-profit business, you know, what you're going to pay yourself. You don't have to have a board, because with the nonprofit, the board votes on what the salary is going to be for everybody, right? But for the for-profit, depending on how you set up your business, if you set it up as a corporation, you do have a board. If you set it up as an LLC, you can choose to have a board of directors or not. If you set up as a sole proprietorship, you are the business, your name is the business, and you do a DBA as whatever your business name is. So I have a company called Babysitters of Charlotte. Babysitters of Charlotte is a sole proprietorship. I am the business. And then my DBA is Babysitters of Charlotte. So with that being said, you have the choice to pick what your money, like if you make $1 million, if you make $1 million in your for-profit business, right? What is your bottom line as far as what are you profiting off of that? So if you have expenses, you have an overhead, if you have phone expenses, internet expenses, you have car expenses, you have all of those things. So if you make $1 million, let's say you make $1 million after expenses, it may be, you know, $800,000 a year. That's just giving some numbers out, but you know, it's not capped at $500,000 basically with the nonprofit thing. So with that being said, that's the difference. You're profiting in your for-profit. You can make as much money as you want to make in your for-profit business and not be capped at a certain amount. For not saying that you shouldn't open up a nonprofit, because if God have called you to do that, you should do it. In addition to just open up a for-profit for something else that you really enjoy or passionate about, that you can make it into a multi-million-dollar business. So, because one thing about me, with my nonprofit, I feel fulfilled in my nonprofit with Women in Power, despite if my income is capped. I'm happy because I'm doing something that God has called me to do. And I also have my for-profit businesses as well. So that's why I just want to really give the advice of, you know, doing something that you know that you're passionate about, but also educate yourself on the things that you need to do to bring income or funding into your nonprofit. Figure out, what can I do? Where are the grants, right? What do I need to do? The first step, of course, is to start that nonprofit. Get your 501c3 letter out the way, because you got other things to worry about, okay? Once you have that 501c3 letter, like I said, I have a course on that. But once you have it out the way, you got other stuff. You got bigger fish to fry. You got to focus on funding. You got to focus on, you know, writing grants and stuff, or hiring a grant writer to do these things. The 501c3 letter is just something that needs to be processed in the paperwork portion. You don't want that. You don't want not having a 501c3 letter to stop your funding. So if you have been prolonging getting your letter, which I know some of you all have been prolonging, this is something that God has called you to do. Do not allow just a letter to stop you, to a letter to stop your funding, because in order for you to get the big bucks, you're going to have that letter. Of course, you can do these, you know, fundraisers or whatever, but the bigger dollars is when you have your 501c3 letter. Do not allow the letter to stop you. Some of you all have been waiting years and years and years. It's just time to get it done, y'all. It's time to get it done. Let's go ahead and get the letter. Go ahead and get the letter and get it out the way. And now let's focus on funding, trying to get your nonprofit funded, because that's going to take the bigger efforts. The 501c3 letter is not going to take a lot of efforts, but the funding is going to take bigger efforts. It's going to take more research. It's going to have to find out where the funding is. That being said, let's get the letter. That's number one. Number two, the for-profit. If you're wanting to start a business, if you're wanting to start a for-profit business, if you're watching me on Facebook, I know we may have membership closed when you're watching this. I don't know. Membership may be closed, but membership will open at our next event. So make sure you, I'll probably post the link to the next event that we're having, but make sure you come to our next virtual event. We are a national agency. So we're a national, not national agency, we're a national organization. So we're in different cities and states. So with that being said, make sure you come to the next event, and membership only stays open for that particular day. So if you're looking to start a business, you definitely want to talk with me. I can help you with pretty much. Sorry about that. I had a phone call. I can help you with starting your business. I can help you with everything that you need to know. Everything. Sorry, my dad keeps calling. He don't know I'm doing a video, a live, and he keeps doing. Yeah, he keeps calling. Hold on one second, y'all. All right. So with that being said, if you need help starting a business, if you want to start a business and actually drive traffic to your website for free, when you start your business, even if you have a business already, you probably say, I don't need help starting. I already got my business. I just need help growing. Okay. That's fine. You need help growing your business. Okay. I can help you with that. But one thing about me, I've tried Facebook ads. I've tried different things to grow my business, not to per se that it doesn't work, but I don't like spending money, marketing dollars. I don't like spending money on marketing. So I went in and did the research to years of research, not just, just something, but I've done years of research to where now I know how to drive free traffic to my website. Every day I get leads to my website, every day on all of my websites now. So every day I'm getting leads to my websites where people are, going to my website, signing up, filling out my forms, because you want to capture their information. Like you want to capture the leads that's going to your website. And I can show you how to do that. But also following up, I show you all of that. And it's important to follow up, because if you don't follow up, you don't get the sale, right? Because they're not going to always call you. We don't know people's mindset when they're going to your website and they fill out a form and they just fill out the form. Okay, it's just sitting there, and then you don't follow up. And then you could be missing out on thousands of dollars depending on what that one sale could be. So with that being said, I teach you how to follow up on that lead immediately and then how to close it. So, that's part of the membership that I offer with Women in Power. So membership may not be open right now. We do offer exclusivity, but I will announce when membership is back open, because I love helping women. I love growing women's businesses organically with free traffic. That's what it's all about. Free marketing, free marketing. You don't have to pay any marketing dollars to do that. And one of the things that we teach is networking. That's right there off the rip. We're going to support every, woman that's in Women in Power. If you're within our chapter, we have the ability and the reach to do that. We will do that because we want to support each other. As women, we want to support each other's businesses. So with that being said, I know I got all into that, but if you are for-profit watching, make sure you comment your business below. If you're a for-profit businesses, comment what type of business you have, tag your business. Let us know what type of business that you have. Comment that in the comments section. But that's pretty much it. I really went into, the difference between the nonprofit, for-profit business, and the benefits. I'll actually do a video. So make sure you subscribe. I'm going to do a video on the benefits of having a nonprofit, because there's a lot of benefits to having a nonprofit, and how much money you will be saving if you just got that letter. Get that 501c3 letter, girly. All right, so thank you all for watching. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day or night.